Yeah, I guess going back to what Martin was saying, I just wanted to address what you led with about Southern Oregon, is that it's both a blessing and a curse. I think our diversity of climates, and because we do not specialize, like the Willamette Valley, is so clearly dominated, and really all of the Oregon wine industry is so dominated by Pinot Noir. And there is Pinot Noir grown in Southern Oregon as well, which further complicates it. Generally speaking, though, slightly higher elevations or northern exposures in Southern Oregon, you can also grow Pinot Noir. But we have, so I'm in the Applegate Valley, and so I'm at about 1,300 feet. The valley's at about 900 feet. We're like halfway between the kind of the coast and in the kind of the Medford Bear Creek Valley area where in Talent, where Terry's at. And so I'm lower elevation and thus theoretically warmer. But since I'm closer to the ocean, and the Applegate's kind of like a east-west valley, it kind of has a conduit of cool air. And about 4 o'clock every day, 3:30 or so, the land heats up enough to kind of like create this vacuum. And then you get this cool breeze that just, you can almost smell the salt water, and it starts coming in, and it's just like 99% of our wind comes from the same direction, always comes from due west. And so we actually just planted an apple orchard. I planted 26 different types of French Cidre apples. We're going to be making some cider in another 4 years or 5 years. But we only had to stake those trees in one direction, because literally the wind only blows from one way, and it's from the ocean. And so that actually is why I just started harvesting, where Terry just finished.
Yeah,
because
funny, every afternoon on my site, I get a 10-mile-an-hour breeze from the north. It blows up, and it's a hot, dry breeze. It's coming right from Medford area.
How far apart are you guys, like miles wise?
Oh, it's a 45-minute drive. We're probably, what, 30 miles maybe?
Yeah, the crow flies, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, to attest to the diversity, when I planted in 2003, there was one vineyard next to me. There's much more now. And right below me, maybe 200-foot elevation below me, one of the grapes I grow is Tempranillo, and they have trouble ripening it. And I can't wait to get it off of my property. And they're about 1,000 feet away.
That is so crazy.
It's a lot of it, everyone talks about, it's really about exposure. I have a very small vineyard compared to even where Nate is. It's only about 4 acres, but it rolls off east-west off of a north-facing slope. And I have the same varietal planted on both sides of that slope. And I sometimes pick different times for that same varietal, and they're only 300-400 feet away. A western exposure will burn you, and an eastern exposure will make big plants on my property. It's with the same varietal. So to what Nate was saying, we need to talk more about his wine, but I wanted to talk about the region. When I started, we did struggle. We're less organized, weren't many vineyards and wineries, and people were talking about, what is our variety? We have to have a variety. We have to have a signature wine. We went through Syrah. We went through Tempranillo. That was about it. And we just, and everyone says, like, I mean, it's still not a consensus, but I think people are settling into the fact that it's what you do well on your property. And that's the biggest thing. Any wine region, maybe our wine region isn't a Burgundy, but maybe it's my property next to there. Know what your site does well. And that I think we're gonna have to celebrate the diversity, because we're not gonna identify a grape. One, we're herding cats here, trying to tell people what they should grow to make the region famous. That is not gonna work in this industry. So the best thing is, like, find out what does best on your site. We have, I think the last time I checked, or I heard, there was over 70 varietals grown in Southern Oregon. Mm-hmm. And the curse is you can probably ripen all of them to some degree, but are they really going to be spectacular? Are they going to be really right for your site? Mm-hmm. That's kind of, we're still working on that one.
Mm-hmm.